And we're live.
And we are live. Welcome everyone. Let's just check to make sure that the stream is working okay, is looking good on Twitter. We'll get it shared in the Discord and get people kind of coming and tuning in. I think that would be wonderful. Yes, looks like it's working. Shall I quickly just share this in the Discord? Hello people. I'm sure there's some people trickling in already, but we're just going to share it in Discord, make sure we've got a few people in, and then we'll kick things off with the first episode of the weekly vol on BERA mainnet. Fantastic.
Bro, I announced.
Oh, you announced already? Perfect. Perfect.
Can you hear me?
We've got, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
For some reason,
Booga
I
booga.
can't hear you.
How's it going, people? How is it going? Welcome. Booga booga. All right, we're just getting set up. Excuse us a little bit. Mo's had some problems. All right, how's it going, people? Come and join. Let us know how you're feeling. BERA mainnet is finally here, and we're very excited about what's been going on. You can finally do stuff with real money on mainnet, and I think it's been so fun. How's it going, RJ? How's it going, Timmy? Nice to see you. I wanna see some ooga boogas in the chat. Yeah, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things today. Of course, the main thing, the elephant in the room, of course, is BERA. So let's definitely talk about BERA. I think we'll also kind of talk about the ecosystem a little bit, kind of what's been going on. But of course, as always, we'd like to talk about all things markets. And I think we have to go no further than the one and only BERA. So let's pull this up, shall we? So here we are. BERA is now trading live, and as of right now, we are currently at a what is that? $7.7, which is I don't know what the valuation is there, but it's just under 4 billion FTV, and a market cap of 800 million or so. So yeah, here's where we are now. The day one price action was pretty wild, to say the least. On launch, which we launched about pretty much where we are right now, actually. We pumped pretty hard all the way to like $15, which was pretty insane. And $15 from basically opening 100% gain in the day, and that was like 7.5 billion FTV. And since then, like, we pulled back quite substantially, like a 50% drawdown over the like following 7 hours. And it seems like we've kind of stabilized around this, between 6.8 and, call it like $9. I think we can already start to like kind of put a trend towards this, perhaps with something like this. I mean, I'm on the 5-minute chart, to be honest with you, so you got to take this with a pinch of salt. But I think, let's try and trend this out a little bit. 15-minute chart, it's quite funny, that actually. So let's have a look. We've got like a little support here, which I think is around 7.4, but you could even perhaps a little bit lower. Certainly a little deviation here, maybe a little bit here as well. And then kind of like on the top of the range for now anyway, looks like we are something like this. We did have this moment here, which was kind of last night, wicking to back almost to $9-10, but I kind of pulled back, and then since then, for the last like 15 hours or so, we've just been kind of in this range, and it's been really interesting seeing the derivative markets of BERA. And part of the reason why it's been so interesting is because of the crazy funding rates that we've seen. Now I'll see if I can pull this up actually, because the funding rates across the board were absolutely insane. BERA was getting shorted like crazy. And let's see if I can pull up digit. Here we go. We've got Digits who tweeted this, right? This is Hyperliquid, and the funding flipped negative 0.3367%. Now, for those of you who don't know what this means that people who are long BERA, and maybe I can kind of show you on here as well, actually, if I just bear with me a moment. People who are long BERA were getting paid, and even right now, the funding rate is negative. So for people who are long BERA, like you're actually getting paid 150% APR right now, or 0.017% every hour. And beforehand, this was pretty crazy. I mean, this was 3,000% APR. Of course, it did settle down a little bit. It kind of went down to minus 1,000% or minus 0.167. And then I guess since it's kind of been a little bit more range bound, it's been kind of steadily trending down. But it's been negative like all day pretty much. And this is interesting because it kind of shows that people are shorting. People are really shorting BERA a lot. And if you look, maybe I can kind of share this with you as well. You can kind of visualize this when you look at the mark price, which is kind of the price that it's trading at on Hyperliquid right now, and the Oracle price, which is from the validators themselves. And I'm not sure where they're reporting this price from, whether it's from Binance or whether it's from somewhere else. But this has been really interesting to say the least. Looks like we've managed to get Mo back in as well. So yeah, I mean, on Binance right now, as RJ just says, it's still minus 0.128, which that's pretty wild actually. Pretty
I
wild.
think it's because Hyperliquid pays you funding by the hour.
Ah, yes, fine. So probably that's kind of where it's referring to. So
Yeah.
I think on Binance it went to like -2% at one point yesterday, which is fairly similar to what it was on Hyperliquid if you change it from 1 hourly to 8 hourly. So on Binance you get paid every 8 hours. On Hyperliquid
No,
you get
actually, for BERA, it was every 4 hours. But yeah, it went to like -2%.
yeah.
And the funding was insane.
And I mean, the funding is still insane. The funding is still insane, which is like the crazy part about it. Even right now, minus 160%. If you have a long position right now,
Yeah.
the shorts are shorting the crap out of BERA. I wondered, like, what do you think? Why do you think this is happening?
I think people are relating it to like sort of Celestia, like all these Cosmos chains and all this
Hmm.
stuff. Like, and people bearish on the VC unlocks and the tokenomics.
Yeah, I did notice. There were a lot of FUD about that kind of stuff. But what was kind of interesting was Jack from BeraChain, kind of explaining, what it's actually like, how much the investors are getting, and I actually found this quite bullish. I think people are thinking that it's a lot more like Celestio, and it's really not. It's very different. I recommend
Uh, it
everyone.
was very good of him to like post and explain everything.
Yeah. With proper maths and calculations as well. What's so funny is at the end he tweeted and put hyperliquid dot at the end, probably referring to some of
Yeah.
the crazy funding that's been going on right now. But
No, I
yeah,
think it's like people comparing bear chain to Hyperliquid and saying that it won't live up to the same hype.
yeah, but also I think people comparing, like as you just said yourself, Mo, like people comparing BERA to Tia, and I don't think that's the case at all. Actually, I think Tia is this. I mean, the technology is great, right? It's this modular data availability layer, but it's nothing like what BeraChain is. BeraChain's a layer one chain itself, and I think there's a big difference there. And yeah, I think people think, oh, the unlocks are, or the kind of the way that validators, or I should say investors, can earn staking rewards is really bearish. When you do the maths and figure out how much this actually is, it was fairly insignificant in my opinion. I mean, just for some reference, and I thought this was I thought this was really interesting. Yesterday, last night, I just kind of had a look at all of the layer one chains that we have today and looked at like the circulating market cap. And you got ETH at 300 billion, Sol 90 billion, even the likes of ADA 26 billion. Some of the newer chains like Sui 10 billion, Hype as well itself 8 billion. And look what BERA is right now at just 0.8 billion. I mean, anything interesting that you've noticed in this pattern at all? Oh, Mo, I don't know if you can hear me.
Tell me. I actually haven't. Like, I don't think I can reference to what you're like
Fine, fine.
pointing at.
I mean, I'm just saying, like Hype is 10x the valuation of BERA.
Oh,
Sui is like 15x the valuation of BERA.
yeah.
You take something like ADA, and of course, everyone knows ADA is a meme, and like the Charles Hoskin effect and everything like that. But there's a big discrepancy, even with like the likes of Nia and Aptos.
ICP, man. What the hell is ICP doing there?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not here to like hate on any of the other chains, but I do think they have their own strategies and whatnot. But I did find this discrepancy a little bit interesting. So someone replied to me, "Need this, but with FTV." So I did the same thing again, and I just looked at the FTV because I think obviously I think this gentleman's referring to the fact that some of these chains have like a low float. And so the circulating market cap's really low, but then they have like really high FTV. We saw this playbook a lot last year. But I kind of did the exact same thing. I even added a couple of other chains in as well. And look, you've got ETH at 300 bill as well. Sol at 100 bill plus. You got the likes of Sui, which have 32 billion, even Hype 24 billion. Tron, Ton, Avax, HBAR, all of these are above 10 bill. Even Aptos, over 5 bill, and then you've got BERA like pretty close to the bottom here at just 3.8.
At least flip like H bar.
I mean, that's for the market to kind of figure out, right? I mean, we can say what we want. Obviously, we're going to be extremely bullish on BERA. No financial advice, but we're building on BERA. We've
Why
been
stop
attached to
lying? You told me before the stream that you're full port long on Bera.
No, I have significant exposure to BERA, and then I did one more experiment after because someone else, Nix, who's the founder of Pulse, he's also building on BERA, asked, can we overlay the market cap with TVL? And this was really interesting because I've put all of the same metrics again, and then the TVL that's on these chains, and in bold I referenced all of the chains that have at least 10% of their circulating market cap in the form of TVL. So, for example, with ETH, there's 328 bill market cap. It's got 56 bill in TVL, so just under 20%. Solana, 93 billion market cap, 9 billion TVL, around 10%. However, there's only one chain on this list that has more TVL than the actual circulating market cap, and that's right at the bottom with BERA, with 3
Yeah.
billion TVL and only 0.8 bill circulating market cap. So, I mean, these metrics, don't necessarily mean anything. I think I did it just more for fun rather than to showcase anything off. But I did find it interesting just to kind of compare, and really then it just makes me think, like, where does the value of a layer one chain come from? Is it from the VCs? Is it because BeraChain has that? Is it from the ecosystem? I think BeraChain definitely has that. Is it from the market makers? I mean, I guess we'll find out in due time if that's where it comes from. Is it from these metrics like number of users, number of apps, TVL, daily active users? Maybe it's a combination of all of those things. And I guess we'll find out over the next month or so when we see, dozens and dozens and dozens of applications coming. If the users decide to come, maybe there's going to be a good amount of traction, and perhaps we get a re-rating. But honestly, I don't know. I think we'll just kind of wait and see. RJ, you mentioned very interesting comment. IVX alone will compete with Hyperliquid. Whilst I would love that to happen. I think Hyperliquid, however, have a fantastic application, and maybe in due time we can get there. Who knows? The sky's the limit, right? But we'll have to wait and see. I think our first product is hopefully the first products, I should say, will hopefully be coming out in February. So this month, actually, we will be having mainnet. We'll have details on that very soon.
Very soon.
Very, very soon. But whether or not we can compete with Hyperliquid just yet, I'm not too sure. But who knows, right? Who knows? That that would be great, wouldn't it? Um, so yeah. I mean, I think Mo, you missed the part where we were talking about BERA. Tell me about your thoughts about day one price action. I've actually mapped out like some ranges that we're just kind of trading within on the 15-minute time frame as well. But kind of talk me through your experience of like day one Berachain.
I mean, it was pretty like expected price action. Like with any new coin that's coming out, like you would expect it to like immediately start dumping. That wasn't the case actually with Beta. Like I think it launched on Binance. I think somewhere between $6 and $7,
Yes, it
and
did.
I actually placed orders at like $6, but they didn't get filled. And I watched Beta go from like $7 to like 15, and I was so pissed that I like missed out on a two and like a quick 2x. But then like as you know, people started claiming their airdrop and people want to sell. Like I think that's expected. Like people want to maybe take profits, secure some profits. Like maybe they need to off ramp some. So it's normal. It's normal. Like it's not that down from launch price. I think it's the same as launch price.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
so I wouldn't say it's bearish at all, but I was glad that it dipped just so I can like fill my fill my lungs.
Mm. So you managed to size into your position now, yeah?
Yeah, I my first long was at like 6.9, like at the bottom yesterday,
So
but
you caught this kind of deviation here, pretty much. Like this is
yeah,
your
but then I
entry.
sized on the way up, like so now my average entry is like 7.2. But yeah, it's still good. Anything under $10 is cheap in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually down on my position right now. Just because
What's your entry?
I dollar cost averaged a lot. So I basically aped from $9 down to pretty much where we are right now. So
It all won't matter when beta is like 20, 30, $40.
yeah, that's my thought process as well. But yeah, I basically just continued to just put in orders throughout the day. And even as I was sleeping, I actually got filled on a order as well at like 7.3. So just kind of around this deviation here. So yeah, I've tried to just average down as much as I possibly can. And I think if we did go low, I probably would like continue to add to that position. What's really
Yeah.
interesting is you know everything that we've seen with the BERA launch. Do you think that price action wise we haven't seen the blockbuster 10 bill, 20 bill, 35 bill that people were talking about, especially before launch? Do you think we haven't seen that because of anything to do with BERA or because of the overall market conditions? Because for me, I think it's the latter.
Yeah, but I think it's probably because of the market conditions, because like everybody's bearish, and like if a bearish person like got this airdrop, they will probably sell it just so that they can secure the gains instead of like round tripping it, because some are very fearful that the cycle top is in and like we're gonna capitulate even lower.
See, the thing is, right, when people think that the cycle top is in, like with this level of consensus, I think usually that isn't the case.
Yeah,
Um, I think look, this is my chart right now, and I think this is where we are at the moment. I think we've been range bound pretty much in from we've been range bound here since November. Really, we're at the same prices as we were back in November, and we're in almost getting to the middle of February now. Or no, we're in the first week of February, but yeah, very soon in the middle of February. So I mean, we're talking 3 months of like no significant price action on Bitcoin. I mean, does this look like the beginning of a bear market at all, or does this just look like consolidation? Because to me, we've got the bottom of the range at like 90 92. We got top of the range at like 107, and we've just been chopping around this. We've gone from top to bottom of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range. Usually when you get these sorts of deviations, right, you often go back to the bottom, and then when you get these deviations, you often go back to the top. We went back to the bottom again. Will we just kind of chop around here before moving back up? I don't know. But I think what will be interesting is kind of you can firstly tell me your thoughts on this and like
Yeah,
where.
my sentiment is still bullish, like on Bitcoin, but like alts, I'm not sure like how to feel about them just because of how weak they have been. But like
Yeah,
overall, Bitcoin still bullish. I think it hasn't made its top yet. I think it can run to like 150 ish, even more probably. We still like have to see the market conditions.
yeah,
But yeah, nothing is actually bearish about the Bitcoin price action currently. Like
yeah.
unless we actually like break down heavily.
But what would be the cause for us to break down heavily? Because we've had, people have been fudding for a long time now. No.
Yeah, exactly. Like as I said, I'm not bearish at all. I think we'll run higher, but like you never know what kind of
Mm.
black swan events can happen. Like
Yeah, that's true. That's
maybe something related to Sailor, maybe something related to Trump. Like you
yeah,
can never know.
that's true. I mean, what's interesting is I guess we were kind of in a similar range back here, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this looks very identical. You could argue that February last year was basically what November last year was like. Went to the top of the range, bottom of the range, top of the range. Um, chopped around a bit. Actually, even went significantly lower. We went to 49K. Remember, we were kind of in this range for a long time. I think February, March, April, May, June. July, 5 months of sideways action. We actually broke down, and then on that 5th of September or something like that, we had that capitulation event, and since then it's been up only. Well, until kind of approaching this range as well. So it makes me think
yeah,
like last time from the top of the range to the bottom of to like the bottom like wick was 32%. And so I wonder if we applied the same principle here, where would we go if we fell 32%? And 32% would actually take us. Oh, I need to zoom out a little bit more. 32% would take us to a number that you've actually mentioned to me before, and we've actually got it pretty much mapped out by a percent or so, 72K. So maybe call it a little bit higher if it would be the same, but that is the same pullback that we had from top of the range to bottom of the range. Will Bitcoin go back down to 73, 74K? I don't know, but it's
it
really
can.
interesting to me. It's really interesting to me. Like if you just look at this and took it as a fractal, and or I mean the other way around. If you looked at like last year's price action and took it as a fractal, it's actually so interesting. Well, here it is. Here it is. And like map this out, kind of on the top. Very, very interesting. But one thing that's clear now to me a little bit more is that we did actually end up having kind of lower highs, like higher low, other way around. Sorry, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and then we kind of eventually broke out. Uh, I'm going to be really interested to see if we follow a similar pattern here as well, because I don't think we've quite had that just yet. You could argue that.
Even at 70K, I would still be bullish, to be honest.
And what would your reason for that be?
Because like in any bull run, like you can see these 30% corrections on Bitcoin. Like we've seen it before. Like it's nothing new.
Yeah,
It's
agree. Agree, agree,
yeah,
agree. The question that I'm going to ask you now, though, is if we were to see like that much of a pullback, yeah, like as in Bitcoin goes into the 70s again, which again, as mentioned, would take us to like a 30% correction, which, as you mentioned, is normal. What does that do for the altcoin market?
yeah. That would definitely be bad. Like
I mean,
altcoins
some assets
very
are.
exhausted.
I mean, look at something like this, right? ETH, which again just really just does not have any strength whatsoever. I mean, we had some crazy price action this week. ETH on Monday going to 2.1K. I mean, did you catch this at all? Like, what a crazy, crazy event in the market that we had.
I was sleeping like it was I'm glad that I was sleeping. I would have been freaking out, man.
Yeah, I mean, I freaked out when I looked at what happened in the charts in the morning. Fortunately, this wick only lasted like 4 hours, and we were back at 2.5 again. And now we're back. We went all the way back to
I
2.9.
think we bounced on the same day to like 2.9.
Yeah, we did, and that intraday volatility was wild because we're
Yeah.
talking 30% move in one day, which to me was.
On the second biggest crypto.
Yeah, and I believe it was the biggest liquidation, even bigger than
Right.
FTX. Well,
Bigger than
uh,
FTX, bigger than COVID, bigger than Luna, 3AC, all this stuff.
yeah, it was. So if you've been able to survive, then hopefully we're in good hands. No, the question is right. Altcoins had this massive capitulation event just on Monday. What is the likelihood that we get another huge capitulation event like this again? Is the damage not done already on these altcoins? When will Bitcoin dominance top out? Because we thought that it would top out. It's ended up coming right back into this range, and we mapped this blue range out a long, long, long time ago. So for those of you who have been following like the weekly vol, you'll know that we've been looking at this for a long time. Now, I actually thought that we topped out 21st November because for the next month, Bitcoin dominance nuked, and we had a crazy, crazy alt season, especially
Yeah,
for
the
AI
animal coins
agents.
were pumping, everything was pumping. Like,
Yeah, in November, AI agents, animal coins, everything was pumping, and then that's kind of reversed completely. In fact, we have actually gone to new cycle Bitcoin dominance highs, which yeah, I think this was the liquidation event that took us to 64%. We're pretty much in this blue zone now again, and this blue zone is really critical because historically, this has been really strong areas of support and resistance in the past. A lot of the time as support, but also sometimes as resistance. So I think
but
what
dominance might even go to like 70%.
I mean, if it does that, we're talking about possibly like 5-year highs on Bitcoin dominance, which I don't know. It feels a bit scary actually. It feels a bit
Very,
scary.
very.
Probably because I don't own enough Bitcoin actually, and I think now even thinking about what we're just talking about, perhaps I need to think about um, increasing my BTC exposure because
Yeah. BERA, Bitcoin, and Hyperliquid.
yeah, yeah, it sounds like a nice trinity there. But yeah, this is kind of where we are right now. Bitcoin dominance doing really, really, really well. I think anyone who basically bought Bitcoin over the last 3 years is absolutely laughing right now. And anyone who bought altcoins, myself included, we've gone bold.
In
We've
shambles.
we've had insane amount of stress. We've been outperformed by the boomers, and we just got liquidated as well this week. So I mean, what are we doing with our lives? Honestly, Mo, we could have just simply longed Bitcoin from the bottom, bought spot Bitcoin at any time in the last 3 years, and we'd just be chilling right now. But no,
Even if you bought in November 2021.
anytime, yeah, literally anytime you could have bought from 2020, from the middle of 2021 onwards for the next year and a half. You could have bought. In fact, even if you bought just 6 months ago, you're going to be laughing. I mean, ETH, however, is a different story altogether. I mean, where are we? We're so close to cycle lows. We're not even that far off. Sure, we started the cycle at ETH $1,000, but I mean, we're so far off all-time high on ETH. I genuinely thought an ETH resurrection was coming. I was pretty convinced, that ETH is back. I don't know if you saw. Did you see Eric Trump tweeting about ETH?
Yeah. He's the one that pumped it like to 2.9 on one day.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up the tweet so everyone can see it.
I think he said something like, now is a good time to add some ETH.
Yes, here we go. Here we go. I mean, In my opinion, it's a great time to add ETH. And he actually edited it because in his previous tweet he said, "You can thank me later," which was quite funny. Yeah, will we thank him or not? I don't know. But this post got 10 million views, and then his other tweet got 13 million views. You know, that is a crazy, crazy, crazy amount of impressions. And you know, if even Eric Trump and the Trump family can't pump ETH, then who is going to be able to pump it? I mean,
Maybe
really,
if Vitalik actually like dies or something.
no, don't say stuff like that. I mean, I really don't know. I really don't know what is it that's going to come for ETH. You know, for a moment, I actually felt like you know it was actually going to come back for ETH as well, um, but it just hasn't for now. And yeah, what well, I guess we'll just kind of have to wait and see. I did actually reduce my ETH holdings, and you know, I probably will look to offload a little bit more. The question is, you know, what will I do with it? I have, you know, I think as you mentioned, those three assets are the ones that I'm particularly looking
Enough,
at. But of
enough,
course,
enough about ETH. Enough about ETH. How are you increasing your BERA bagwaj? You have some BERA. How do you increase your BERA?
well, this is just what I was going to say. I said I have some ETH, and I'm gonna probably get rid of it for the Trinity that you mentioned, which is Bitcoin Hype and BERA. Okay, good question. Now, how do you increase your bearer bags? So there's a few ways. I think firstly is the way that I think we do it at IVX, and you know we like to trade, right? So for us, it's going to be if I pull up the bearer chart again, we're gonna do some trading, aren't we? I mean, let's have a look at how the chart looks. I mean, you could do some scalping. I mean, I don't know if it depends on what your style is as well, right? Everyone's got a different style. I'm not really the best scalper, so I don't really like to scalp stuff. Rather, I like to kind of get dollar cost average, get a good swing trade in, and hold that for a while. You know, pay
I've been
funding is
actually
okay.
preferring this method. Like I'm actually starting to like swinging rather than
Yeah,
scalping.
yeah, it's a little bit less stressful. I think you don't have to look at the chart every day.
It gives
Um,
you more room for error. Like you
yes,
don't
it
have
does.
to actually time the bottom.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So I mean, look, you know, if you want to, you know, map out ranges and like trade between the ranges, I think this is something that I typically like to do. You know, for example, kind of going from range high to range low or range low to range high. We see these types of trades every single day, and I think we'll definitely see it with BERA as well. You know, maybe, you know, if you kind of if we kind of get past this $8 kind of 20 mark, maybe it retests again, and then you kind of have a really really good time to long. Of course, you have to be careful though, because you know you do get deviations like this as we've seen. So that's why using lower time frames, like what I've got right now, the 15-minute chart is not really ideal. You want to do this on as high time frame as possible. You know, ideally like the daily chart, but we haven't obviously got enough information for this just yet. But yeah, you know, maybe you'll use the 4 hour chart or something once we've got a bit more data. But I think something like this is certainly something that I like to do trading wise. I mean, one other thing that you could have done is just like farm the funding rates, right?
Yeah,
Just just earn those juicy rewards that come from that come from longing. And obviously right now it's kind of settled down a little bit at you know 132% annualized, but you know beforehand this was like 1000%. And so yeah, you can definitely increase your bearer bag like that. When it comes to the ecosystem as well, I think now that BeraChain is actually live, you can start using some of the different applications in the ecosystem. And we've already seen quite a few that have gone live already, the likes of Kodiak and Infrared. And some of them have opportunities for you to maybe provide liquidity or maybe stake your Bera as an LST. There's a ton of different things that you can do, and those can
yeah.
also help
I've
to
been
increase bags.
trenching for the last 24 hours.
Oh yeah, that's the last thing I was going to mention. Yeah, go on, Mo. Tell us about what you've been up to.
Man, for the last 24 hours, Panda Factory, the website has been up for the like last 24 hours. I'm just aping any coin I can see. And
Have you had
yeah,
any
some
success or have you lost money?
I lost some, but I made more than I lost. Like
Oh, okay, good.
we hit some good ones, like especially Nabzilla's coin. That was a good one.
Oh yeah. I
Bonga.
haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't been in the meme coin scene on BERA just yet. But
You
I'm
should get
looking forward
some
to play
Bonga.
around with it.
Yeah,
You're the meme coin pro. I mean, maybe we can pull up deck screen and just like see like what's been the biggest meme so far. I haven't been following.
I
Maybe
think it was
some of you guys who
BM.
are watching
It was BM.
BM. Okay.
Yeah, like iconic ticker.
Yeah.
It went to
Absolutely.
like I think 3 billion, 3 million. Sorry, I wish 3 billion.
I see.
2 billion, but it dumped like 90%. It went to 200K market cap, and that was a very good buy there. Sadly, I was too scared to buy there. I thought for some reason that it's gonna go to zero, but then it went to like 1.4 million, and now it's hovering around 900K.
Okay. Interesting.
I think it can do like very well just because of how iconic the name is. So even if they rug, like people can CTO it.
Fair enough. I see. There is there's a few tokens here. There's Grand Conquest did their TGE. Didn't even realize
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's Godel.
Yeah, and almost 10 million market cap. We have here's your coin BM 1 million market cap. Bonga 1 million market cap. Barely is 700K. Barataria.
700?
Yeah. So I guess we're going to see like a lot of upcoming tokens as well. You know, we have the likes of Ramen who are launching the Ramen token. I'm not actually sure what needs to be done. I believe we need to register for it. So
I think
haven't
the registration is now live.
fine. So maybe some of you guys who are watching can do that. I'll definitely be trying to register as well. You know, maybe you can get some exposure there. We're going to see Ramen, and we're going to see Yeet. We'll see Henlo. We'll see Ooga Booga. You know, eventually we'll see IVX as well. There's going to be a ton of new tokens coming to the ecosystem. A
What
ton
are
of
you
new
bidding?
a ton of new apps coming to the ecosystem as well. At the moment, just BERA, but I think when we see some of these tokens launch, I'll try and you know, get a few off Ramen or maybe on the market as well. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to allocate. I actually swept the floor on some ecosystem NFTs the last few days actually. So you know, I might actually continue doing that because I think
You got some surfers?
they dumped. I did actually buy some surfers. I actually gave some of them away actually to community members.
Nice.
Um, so, but I swept them when they were like 0.15 ETH. So maybe I could have waited a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, I've been looking to pick up some more just so I could get some exposure because I noticed that a lot of the NFTs actually did kind of fall down in price a little bit, even the likes of honeycombs and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been sweeping, and yesterday there was some mints as well. There was remind me,
Honeycast and
steadies. No,
Bullis.
not steadies. Bullers. Sorry. Yeah, bullers and honeycar. So yeah, there's stuff to do. There will be more stuff to do in due time. I think the expansion of the ecosystem will continue. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Magic Jammer has got an interesting comment here. Kind of Bitcoin heading 3 to 9% higher towards final resistance right now. Shall we have a look at this? Let's see. Let's
Let's
see.
do it.
Um, let me just share my screen. So I've pulled up here's a 4-hour chart. I mean, look here. This was a key area that I was always looking at before. This like 98K. Why? Because I mean, if I just look here, it was like um, I think you guys can see my mouse, right? So here we had a deviation, you know, resistance. Finally got past it, wicked all the way back down, but eventually like managed to get past and go all the way up to 100K. But then like every time that we've got to this level, the price has either like resisted here and gone all the way back down, resisted here, gone all the way back down, or like we kind of push through. And when we push through, we go up quite a lot more from this point onwards. So here's going to be interesting, right? I think from this point, we're either going to push up and go to back up above 100 or we are going to end up going back down. And if we did go back down, we'd go down to 92. You know, maybe we'll see like as you can see the beginnings of of this lower low, lower high, lower low. Is this going to be a lower high, and are we going to go back down again? We'll see. But if we
But
can break this,
Bitcoin has been stable for the like last 5 days probably. It's been ranging. Like, how could have someone made money? Like,
I mean,
because
this is a
with
scalp
pips,
traders thing. This is scalp trading, really. I mean, you're
the
just scalping on the longs and
w-
closing, closing at 102. You know, it's not you're not really holding these
on
positions.
one day, like uh, someone in the IVX Discord, I think it's Adu, he was like, uh, he pulled up the Bitcoin chart in the market discussion channel, and it was like 94K. I told him like buy 102K strike calls, and it actually went there like a few hours later.
Yeah,
Th-
yeah,
That
yeah, yeah,
that would have printed. Like,
yeah, yeah.
the
They did.
options were cheap.
Let's have a look at some options. Actually, I think this would be quite interesting. But I think my main point that I'll say is I don't like to do my business in the middle here. I think if you're a scalp trader, fantastic, right? You know, look at this 98.2K. Like we're close to breaking this, and if we do, then sure, we'll go to 100. I think. I like to do my business at the top of these ranges and the bottom of these ranges. So yeah, when we get to the top here, take three. That's when I like to enter positions, like either to the upside or to the downside. Similarly, on the bottom here, you know, on Monday or Tuesday, that was your time to like, take some positions. That's when I actually did some bidding as well. So yeah, for me, it's much easier for me risk wise as well because my stop losses are much more tighter. I avoid getting chopped up, in the middle. This is where when you do business in the middle, you get chopped up, and it can be a little bit tricky. But I think, look, I try to keep things in general quite simple. I've just gone on the 4 hour, looked at areas of key support and key resistance, and just mapped them out. And I like to trade level to level, in these range bound situations. I think that's kind of just my preferred trading style. But of course, everyone is going to be very different. Some people will trade on different time frames. Some people on a longer time frame. Some people will laugh at me, saying, "Why the hell, Waj, do you trade on a 4 hour time frame?" Expand it out a little bit. So yeah, let's see. I'm not sure what's going to happen next, but I can just kind of trade what I can see on the screen, really.
Yeah, will be interesting.
Yeah, will be interesting. Right, let me pull up some option stuff. We'll go on CoinGlass and we'll kind of see what's been going on. Oh, what was really interesting was seeing like some of the liquidations recently, because I remember in look at this, guys. This was super interesting to me. Oh wait, I need to share my screen. Super interesting. Look at this. Over the last 24 hours, most people got liquidated like shorting BERA, like $7 million of liquidations for BERA shorts, which I found was really interesting because, like, obviously right now BERA is being shorted a lot. I mean, the funding rate tells you everything. So yeah, I mean, because it's been choppy, I'm guessing the longs have also been getting liquidated a lot. But in general, otherwise, it's been the longs that have been getting liquidated much more than the shorts. But I just found this quite interesting. Really looks like a lot of people are trading BERA, of course, with every kind of new hyped up kind of new token that comes to the market. That's going to be the case. So that's why you're seeing BERA up there with the likes of XRP and Solana and Doge and Sui, etc. So yeah, pretty cool. And well, cool, I say. No, it's not that cool for the people who got liquidated. I feel bad for them. Yeah, it was just interesting that I saw this one. Any comments on this, Mo?
I mean, it's kind of expected. Like, with that very high funding rate, like,
Oh,
pe-
maybe I need
pe-
to
pe-
zoom in a little bit so you guys can see on the screen. I think it wasn't very clear. Is it clear now?
yeah.
Cool.
Like, yeah, man, the funding was insane. It was a telltale sign. Like, people are way too heavy in shorts. Like, and a squeeze was imminent,
Mm,
but I wouldn't say that we squeezed that much. I think we can go way higher. Like, we can squeeze way higher
yeah,
because
let's see.
it only squeezed to like $9, and then It probably took out everybody's stop loss and then it went back down.
Hmm. I'm interested to see. Well, I don't think we'll see, but if anyone does know, like kind of any insights into like the market makers that are basically trading BERA right now, and I wonder like what their kind of floor and like call options and stuff will be like. I think that would be really interesting to know. If I don't think anyone will be able to find that out, but yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, let's see what happens. Otherwise, I guess we can look at the option data. Lots of people still very, very bullish with call options, 120K, 150K, 110K, 130K, 140K. But in the last 24 hours, you're seeing, perhaps a lot of hedging going on as well. Look, people buying 88K puts and 80K puts, this takes us, 25% correction or getting close to 30% correction, when if these strikes do end up hitting. And people are buying them to protect themselves in the next 2 weeks. So looks like some people really, really do think that some volatility is going to happen over the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks, I should say. So yeah, is February going to be the same as January, which I think was pretty dull for the market overall? We'll have to wait and find out. But yeah, I think otherwise, in general, option data is still looking very strong. There's a lot of people trading right now. It really does still feel like a bull market when you look at these kind of metrics. But maybe for your altcoins, it doesn't feel like that as such. Similar kind of thing on Ethereum as well. Like people are still buying call options. $5,000, $6,000 call options, $6,000 call option on Binance as well. A lot of $4,000 call options too. This is interesting. Kind of people buying at the money call options. I would be intrigued to know like what the thought process here was, but yeah, people are feeling are feeling pretty good about ETH when you look at open interest. But when you look at like the last 24 hours, you do see people hedging for sure. Look at this, people buying $2,600 puts, kind of expiring in a week. So yeah, let's see what happens to these guys. Will they print? I'm assuming most of this is hedge related stuff, but you never know. And again, just similar kind of thing. We're definitely in a bull market when you look at like the total open interest for options right now. Let's see how it goes. I think it's going to be a fun year still to go.
Agree.
And hopefully we're going to have some of these options, these short time frame options, coming to all of you guys very, very soon. Once we've been able to deploy on mainnet. So yeah, that'll be pretty fun for sure. Yeah, yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Yeah, probably. I think this. I think Magic Jammer, you're definitely onto something here. It's something that I'm probably going to be doing a bit of as well. It's very easy to long volatility. You can buy a call and buy put at the at the money strike. So yeah, let's see. You'll hopefully be able to do this with BERA too, which I think is going to be fun. Like imagine buying a call and a put on BERA with the volatility that we've had over the last 24 hours. Man, that's gonna print, right? Really, really print.
Yeah.
That would be one of my favorite strategies. Man, I just can't wait
Yeah.
to have up.
Because like
Imagine.
Beta is moving like 10% every hour or so.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess maybe because of that delta or the gamma, I should say. The premiums are going to be pretty pricey. But yeah, Magic Jammer, this is what we're building at IVX. We'll have a 0-day option market for BERA, the asset, on BERA chain, coming out ASAP. Yeah, exactly. Magic Jammer, you are our user, man. We definitely need to speak to you after this stream for sure. But yeah, I think that kind of strategy is going to be amazing. And the thing is, right? There's so many things that you can do, right? You can long the volatility by doing that kind of strategy, buying the call and buying the put, and obviously print in either direction, as we've seen with the crazy volatility that we've had. But on the other hand, because these premiums are going to be a little bit expensive, maybe you want to be the seller, and maybe you want to sell some options on BERA, and maybe that's going to give you some very high APRs. Maybe you hedge yourself with with some shorts, where maybe by then the funding rate flips the other way. I don't know. The beauty of options is that there's just so many different strategies available, right? And if you just want to open a standard call, you can do that. If you want to open a standard put, you can do that. But you can combine all of these different instruments so well together and create really interesting payoff strategies. And yeah, hopefully we're going to bring that all to all of you guys this month. We'll of course add some juicy incentives, and of course, being powered by BeraChain's proof of liquidity, it's only going to make things a lot better when we have those juicy BGT rewards coming into the ecosystem as well. And they're already coming in. They're coming into Bera Hub, like the main app from the foundation. But in due time, we'll open up for the ecosystem. So yeah, it should be really fun. And we'll have options not just for Bera, but also for the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum too. So you can buy your Bitcoin calls and buy your ETH puts, and just print on both directions. Yes. Lovely stuff that you're putting out there for everyone, Magic Jammer. I think you're definitely going to enjoy what we've got coming up. So yeah, we're going to have options. We're also going to have futures as well. So you will be able to trade your favorite assets, including BERA. It's a little bit different to Hyperliquid. So, maybe some guys will prefer Hyperliquid. Maybe some of you will enjoy what we have. But I think either way, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And, our goal at IVX is to be this hub of derivatives. This is what we like to do. We're all traders in the team. We're going to start off with these two products, and who knows where the year takes us. But I think it's going to be a fun year overall. Mo, any last comments or anything else before we kind of wrap things up?
It's all good on my end. I'm just super excited to trade Bera.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it. Guys, I think there's over 500 of you that have tuned in. Any kind of questions or anything that you want to kind of comment on, please feel free to ask your questions now. Yeah, we'll quickly answer them and before we hop off. So yeah, see you next week there. It's definitely going to be spicy. I agree with that take.
Definitely join the Discord and just ping us whenever.
Yeah. I think in the Discord you're fairly active. So yeah, we like to talk about all things markets in the Discord as well. So yeah, come and chat to us if you have some interesting strategy. Maybe you found an asset that you think is worth shorting. Maybe you found an asset that you think is worth longing. Yeah, let us know. We'll talk about it. All things markets, all things trading. Come to IVX for sure. Right. I think with that, let's wrap things up. Thank you, Mo, as always. Come and find us on the Discord. You can still kind of get used to what IVX will feel like a little bit on the testnet. But of course, we're on mainnet right now. We're going to be deploying very soon. And so you'll be able to trade with you'll be able to trade with real money finally. So yeah, I think with that, take care, everyone. Don't get liquidated, and we'll see you next week.